Now viewers, first up, it's a new day, a new CCTV video, a new link to the chain of events and evidence which eventually might of course prove that Sandalwood star Darshan Thoogudeepa is guilty of orchestrating a horrific murder. But of course, the police are still doing their job. However, the legal challenges are only a part of this entire story. The horrific crime here has raised a larger issue around the obsessive fandom and larger than life star culture. A culture where real heroes find support despite appalling acts in real life. Even in Darshan's case, former Karnataka MLA Deepak Reddy has now claimed that he has received a threat from an unknown caller for participating in a protest against the superstar. Let's first listen to what he said.
ಸೇರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳು ಸೇರಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿನ್ನೆ ತಾವು ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿದ್ರಿ ಡಿಸಿ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು ಮೆಮೊರಂಡಮ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಪಕ್ಷಾತೀತವಾಗಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದ್ 3-4 ಜನ ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಿಸಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮೆಮೊರಂಡಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದ್ವಿ. ಬರೋ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಇನ್ನು ಮನೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಒಂದ್ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಫೋನ್ ಬಂತು. ಫೋನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಹಲೋ ಅಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ದೀಪಕ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಹೌದು ನಾನೇ ಅಂದ್ರೆ. ನಿನ್ನ ಹೆಸರೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಂತ ಇಂಥವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ. ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ, ಎಲ್ಲ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ. ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದೇ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂದ. ಹಂಗಂತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಗನ್ಮನ್ಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ತೆಗೆದಾಕು ಅಂತ.
Now we're not for a minute here trying to conduct a media trial, pronounce Darshan guilty or anything of that sort. But what has happened today has raised a very significant question, viewers. If someone rich, famous and powerful is accused of a heinous crime, shouldn't they at least be asked to step aside from their position until a fair probe is conducted? Now if a star, in this case, is accused of murder, should the film industry not take a principled stand that until his name is clear that he will not really, work or get any new projects, at least not carry on as if business is as usual? The reason why we are raising this is the fact that the Karnataka Film Chamber has met today. They've tried to discuss Darshan's case and chart out future course on what is to be done about movie spending in his name, whether there should be a ban. I earlier spoke to the Karnataka, Film Producers Council Chief, this is Umesh Banakar, who has denied the possibility of banning Darshan's film until there is a court order or a pronouncement of a verdict in this matter. Let's listen to that conversation.
Today we have a very good executive committee meeting along with all EC members in our chamber, and we have taken the decision that tomorrow we have to go to Chitradurga and met her parents and convey the message to them. And regarding artists and regarding this controversy, up to judiciary, what are all happens, up to that we have to wait. Then we will have to move the and we have to see the consequences. Then we have to take some decisions.
Well, once again, you heard what he said. Mr. Umesh there says that we'll have to wait for the judiciary. Meanwhile, they're not going to act upon anything that, Darshan is facing in terms of the allegations at least. He's going to continue to remain in the movies. There's no ban, even if he steps out on bail at this point in time. They're saying that the court has to come out with a verdict. My colleague Neha also now joins us live on the broadcast. Neha, this is quite interesting. As far as the film chamber is concerned, they say no ban as of now. He'll have to be pronounced guilty by the courts. That is when there'll be action that will be initiated. Take us through the latest.
Well, that's right, Deepak. In fact, this was a sentiment that began to be echoed just yesterday, where we saw protests breaking out in Chitradurga district of Karnataka. You had members there of right-wing organizations, a couple of advocates and others staging a protest there demanding a full and complete ban on any of Darshan's films that are either to be released or that are in the making right now. Remember also, of course, the first one to echo this was, of course, a family member there of the victim, Renuka Swami, who's lost their dear one, saying that, films of the actor should be banned. And now we're seeing after, of course, they had raised that issue. Now the Karnataka, of course, film chamber, they're discussing this issue at hand, saying that they would have to go to Chitradurga, meet with, the concerned, of course, and then take a call on this. And it's quite important, of course, while one would like a blanket ban here on all of his films, the aspects that are being raised there by the film chamber about a lot of investments being put in here, whether by producers, directors, other actors, production houses as well. This is, of course, something that would have to be viewed comprehensively. But given the fact that he is currently, languishing, of course, in police custody, and the fact that he is an accused in a case of murder, something that's not, of course, being treated lightly, we'll really have to wait and see how, of course, the film chamber is able to possibly work with the government on this, and whether there is, of course, going to be a massive setback here for actor Darshan from the film industry.
Right. Let's, of course, wait if there is any sort of development in that regard. Thank you, Neha, for giving us all those details. Now, let me clarify here that the Producers Council chief, of course, did not speak of any new projects in that conversation. Meanwhile, we should also note that instead of holding, these actors, accountable actors are not even questioned by their own. They're in fact defended. One such classic case is that of popular Kerala actor Dilip. And in February 2017, we should remember, popular Malayalam actress was abducted and sexually assaulted in her car by 6 people who then took pictures of her to blackmail her and then dumped her. This begs the question, why is there such scant regard for the victim? Shouldn't such stars who have been accused of wrongdoings be deprived of the platform that has turned them into larger-than-life figures who are worshipped as demigods? These are some questions that come up. Let me, in fact, open this up to our panel today. Joining us, Brinda Adige is with us today once again to discuss this. Manvi Taneja, actress, is also today joining us. PK Jain, retired IPS officer. Brijesh Kalappa, advocate, also with us. Let me take this across first to Brinda. Brinda, we've been time and again speaking about this particular actor has his antecedents. He's been, accused of domestic violence, has been, jailed at that point in time. The Forest Department is, looking into a case where there is a possibility that, there could be a poaching here of tiger claws. On the other hand, now a murder charge is being leveled against him. Through all of this, the film industry, the body that met today, it was not very clear the purpose of this, because they say that ban is out of the question right now. So where do you think, the film chamber really can step in here, set an example, or do you think what they've done here is fair?
Antecedents, all his past crimes or wrongdoings or violations of the law. Though I want to believe that people
Brinda,
reform in a civil society.
I'm not able to hear you. If you're on mute, please unmute yourself before you speak.
Okay. Antecedents and past crimes and violations.
Okay, go ahead,
so we believe in our civil society that reformation is always possible. We know that in cases of this nature, especially when a person is of such a high profile, we know that he is very powerful. He also campaigned for some political parties recently. Impunity is very high. There is also this thought in them that they will not be touched by law, that the regular laws and the processes and procedures that an ordinary person like you and me will have to go through, they are above all of it. And that is what has been condoned in the past, and he's riding on the same wave. Even now, in some places we have heard that some of his fans are being asked to take the fall for it, take the blame for something that he might have done. So an alleged accused of this nature must be held accountable. The fact that the film chamber does not want to hold him accountable, they may have 100 reasons. But as an ordinary citizen, what I see is a lot of money is riding on this man. And that money is not going to be let go off easily. And that is why they are saying, let the courts take its course. So when they mean let the courts take its course, let it take its course for the next 5-8 years. Because we know how cumbersome and tedious and slow-drawn tortoise-like our courts are. They are not going to immediately, even if it goes on the fast-track court, it's not going to come out in the next 2-3 years. By then, people might have forgotten because our memories are so short, and everybody who wanted and who must recover their monies would have recovered it. But the message that is going across is fans' admiration and idolizing of an actor can be taken for granted to such an extent that these fans can take the blame for their punishment, and their families are of no consideration. They can be also taken for granted because the person who was trolling and bullying him online was also a fan. He was not somebody who just came up against some kind of a hate. So that fan has been finished off.
Yeah.
His pregnant wife, no regard. Unborn child, no regard. That family is only earning member, no regard for all of it. Somebody of this kind must be held publicly responsible. He has a moral and an ethical duty. The film chamber also has a moral and ethical duty. And they must at least say, till the courts tell us something, we are going to can this man and all the films that he has done to date.
Okay, interesting perspective. Manvi, Taneja, you being in the same industry, how do you really view this? Because at the end of the day, as far as, a situation like this, when it arises, the question that comes up, it's not just about Darshan here. A film involves hundreds of people, their livelihood as well depends on it. Now, banning an actor like this because of the charges that he's facing, do you think it's fair enough for the film chamber to say, well, we'll wait it out. We'll see what the court really decides and then we'll really act upon it?
I would still say he is innocent until he's proven guilty, because there could be a mastermind. See, he has a huge fan following. He is into movies, and he has a huge fan base. So there could be a possibility that there is a mastermind behind all this. Because as of now, it's too early to make any statement. We should at least wait for the department to file a charge sheet or make any official statement, because there is none as such. And on the basis of the evidence and whatever evidence they collect, the department, and the supporting documents which they attach to the charge sheet, will further take the case ahead. And banning the actor, I think it is not the solution, because this is not the first time where the industry has been targeted. Prior to this also, we have experienced that many actors who have a good name, they have been targeted by the masterminds. And in prior occasion, you can see 2 years back also, when Ria was targeted, and later on nothing came up. So at least we should wait for the official to make a statement or file a charge sheet before banning an actor, because there could be a mastermind who can ruin the career, who tries to defame such an actor who has a huge great fan following. So I think we should wait. We should not ban the actor.
Okay, Mr. Kadapa, I'll come to you as well. Now, when you look at this case and how it's been panning out, this is an influential actor. You very well know, of course, being from the state of Karnataka, the kind of popularity that he enjoys. Now, when you have people who are threatening even the likes of MLAs who are participating in protests, who are coming outside police stations and, staging dharnas and, protesting against the media, protesting against the police, do you feel that the police in this particular case should also come out and give details as to his involvement, so that the fans who are blindly following this man also understand his involvement is there? The police have certain crucial evidences, and that's the reason he is right now behind bars?
Are you asking me, Deepak?
Yes.
Are you asking me, Deepak?
Yes, Mr. Kalapa, go ahead.
Yeah, see, Deepak, the first thing is, as far as the police is concerned, the police can't make a statement till they are very clear. Of course, there would be some certain leads insofar as the prosecution is concerned. And I'm sure that, those leads have led to the arrest of so-and-so and so-and-so and whoever has been arrested so far. Now, but the point is that the police, if they make a statement, that statement is going to be used by the defense at some point in time. Therefore, it's not correct for the police to make a statement just now. The police must be absolutely sure, because you see, in any court of law, the prosecution must prove beyond reasonable doubt the guilt of a person. Now, if a statement which is not fully, where the police is not fully certain of what it is stating, makes a statement, that statement is bound to be interpreted or misinterpreted by the defense. So it's not correct. I don't think it's the right, thing for the police to now make a statement. I think just like in every other case. Why should they make a substantial change in this case merely because it's a VIP? In every other case, the police is not expected to make a statement merely
Correct.
because a person may claim to have a few fans or a few supporters. Supporters can always be purchased. Now, supposing I were to be arrested and I had a few supporters, if I were able to, cobble up the support of certain people to come and stand on the streets, that doesn't mean the police is going to change the manner of investigation, the manner of prosecuting me. So I think the first thing is whether he's whoever he is, be you ever so high, the law is above you, and the law, I think, should act fairly and equally against all concerned. I think that is the primary thing that I am as a citizen concerned about. And I don't think, honestly, the police should now make a statement because it could work to the police's detriment.
Okay, that's a very interesting perspective that you're saying that the police probably, the statement that they make will be used against them. Mr. PK Jain, you probably can throw more light. This is a very precarious scenario, of course, for the police as well. A high-profile case that they're dealing with. In the remand copy that we've also accessed, clearly here they've said that, the accused number 1 is Pavitra Gowda, accused number 2 is Darshan. So they are detailing out that he is one of the prime accused in this particular case, but not making an official statement. Mr. Kalapa, of course, from the legal perspective, he's given us that aspect that probably it can be used against him. But now when you look at a scenario like this where, threat calls are being made, people are protesting, how do you really deal with this scenario of fans of this actor and also to deal with this case without any sort of pressure from, political circles as well?
Good evening, Deepak. Thank you for inviting me here. See, 2-3 things I would like to point out. My predecessor advocate has very correctly pointed out. The police should not give the details of the ongoing investigation. That is one part. FIR is an official document. It is in public domain. Now the FIRs are being uploaded in the system. Therefore, who is an accused, who is not an accused is something there. But that is the starting point. From there, the investigation starts. The evidence is collected. What evidence is collected, how it is collected, what is the extent of evidence against individual accused A or accused B is all something which is within the papers which are available with the police, and they are made available to the courts in the due process where the remand is sought or they are to be further police custody is to be taken or ministerial custody is to be taken. So in my opinion, the police should not make any statement. In fact, in any case, the media keeps a very keen eye on such developments. They always are stationed outside the police station or outside wherever he is detained. So they know what exactly is going on. They have their own sources. So in bits and pieces, the information is available to them as to what exactly is happening. The very fact that this person, Darshan, has been arrested, his live-in partner or his wife, Pavitra, is arrested, there has to be some basic evidence because generally such high-profile cases, the police have to be doubly sure that they don't hit on a wrong nail. So the correct nail has to be hit. So there must be some evidence on the basis of these people have been arrested. Now you have also produced the CCTV footage showing that he was there at the scene of crime. So he has to explain why he was there. So as far as the legal investigation is concerned, it will proceed as per law. It is a high-profile case. You people are not going to let it go just like that. So that is one part. Second part is the medical evidence. The third part is the prosecution, our prosecuting agencies. If they all work in sync, the conviction can be obtained. Any weak link found in the chain, the case can be damaged. I remember of an old case of Nadeem Shravan when there was a murder of Gulshan Kumar. The police made a very hasty statement. On the next day only some very senior officer, I won't name him, he stated that so-and-so are the accused in this case. And this man, in any case, had shifted to London. So he started taking a plea that the police were they had formed an opinion against me, and that's why I will be victimized in case I'm sent back to India. And till today, he's in London. He's from the film fraternity only. So this is what happens in case the police make a very hasty statement. They must not make a statement. As far as you said about the roles being given to or he not being blacklisted from his work and all that. So you remember the case of Sanjay Dutt. You remember just now somebody else named another actor from Kerala. Salman Khan, for that matter. All these people have been accused of criminal cases, convicted, have served their sentences. Some people have faced the consequences of it. Some people have not. I don't remember the name of a very budding, very rising star from the Hindi industry. who was convicted of a rape on his maidservant. And subsequently, that fellow lost his career. There are n number of cases like that in the Hindi film industry, in the Bollywood at least. So that is, I think, left to the producers who have a lot of money riding on the actors, and what he will do. So till the time he's in custody, he in any case cannot participate in any shootings, etc. So to that extent, he suffers. He suffers
That's a
subsequently
very
because new
good
movies don't
perspective
come
that you
to him.
draw, Mr. Jain, that some of them have paid the price for it, some haven't. You were, I think, referring to the case of Shiny Ahuja that happened several years ago.
Shiny Ahuja,
he,
yes,
of course,
that's right.
bore the
That's
brunt.
right.
Eventually, we didn't see him make his way back into the industry at all. Mr.
That's
Kalappa, I'll
right.
come back to you. Another aspect that I really want to touch down upon is how important is it, Mr. Kalappa, to ensure transparency in a case like this? Because there have been several question marks that are being raised. You know, initially we saw a packet full of biryani being sent into the police station. The police came out and said, well, it was not for the accused, and Darshan was not even eating. In fact, and it was for a kabaddi team that was there. Then came an aspect that a phone was handed over, to one of the accused while they were at a spot inspection site. The police again had to come out and clarify, saying, well, there was some urgent clarification that was needed, and that's the reason the police themselves had given the phone. Then there's another aspect where they have now completely covered up the police station. It is something that has never been seen before. It is as if, a tent house has been brought and they've covered it up and sealed it. So what's happening inside should not be seen from the outside. When all of this happens, do you feel that raises questions on transparency, especially in a high-profile case like this?
So Deepak, I'll be very frank with you. It's a well-known secret in Karnataka that police officers are transferred for a certain sum, right? So therefore, police officers are also not above the pale of suspicion. So therefore, if a person wants to be in a police station, he has to pay a certain sum to get posted to that police station. But having said that, because I also belong to a police family, I'd like to believe that the police will be above board in this case. I hope and pray that the police will not involve themselves in anything which is, either questionable or suspicious. And I hope that the police will do everything to protect their integrity and protect their reputation. Because if a case like this, a very strong case where there is a dead body and there are serious injuries on the person, and there appears to be a cause of action why such a thing has happened, in such a case, if there is an acquittal, I think, the next day after the acquittal, you can be dead sure that 1 lakh new criminals will be born. And this must set an example across the board. And despite the fact that, of course, some police are corrupt, some police are inefficient and all that, this is all a given. But I hope that in this case, the police will not act in a questionable manner and will be above board and will act with the integrity and with righteousness.
Well, that's what everyone will be hoping, because at least for the family of the victim right now, justice is something that, or anything that they want right now in this matter is just justice. They're not seeking for anything more. And the wife is 5 months pregnant, and we heard her plea for help. They say that whether it is an actor or anybody who's involved, they should be treated equally, and the probe should be thorough in nature. Brinda, political interference in such matters is something that's a grave cause of concern. There are talks already that, there could be politicians who could be making those calls to, the investigating officers to try and help, the actor in any way possible. And this help could mean a variety of things. Providing VIP treatment while he's, of course, in custody, to try and melt down the case, which works in his favor. How can really the police ensure that all of this does not happen in a case like this?
Well, while we put a lot of burden on the police, of course, it is their duty, we must also hold the politicians accountable, because we know that there are politicians who invest in movies. We also know that the movie business is huge. So like the film chambers person was talking, saying that till the judgment comes from the courts and the judiciary, nothing is going to stop. At the end of the day, it is a lot of money. And we are talking of crores of money that is riding on this particular person. So if this is the kind of money that is riding on the person, the state and all its machinery is responsible and accountable to ensure that justice is number one and justice is also the last that must be served. Nothing in between. And politicians, those who might be, making those calls to give him a partial treatment in the lockup or in the jail, or even telling people that you take the fall for it, I think we must call out these people. It is time for us. We are a robust community, a robust state, a robust citizenry. We should be able to call out these people, because justice is something that every citizen hopes in. And we can't have the state machinery with those functionaries who are greedy or who are selfish and who are filled with impunity to continue to think that they can get away. Because that is exactly what this case is now reeking of. And immeasurable impunity that somebody is going to take the fall for it. And we will pay you for it, no problem.
Yeah.
Because if this person goes into a jail, then a lot more people are going to suffer. So it is sacrifice a few of them.
Absolutely, and that's where transparency in this case is, so much more essential, because there's already been an attempt to cover up the entire case by use of money power. And that could happen again. I have little time left, so I want to touch on another quick aspect. I'll bring in Manvi Taneja very quickly here. Manvi, do you feel that the onus also lies on the industry, on popular actors to come out? Probably, do you feel it's safer for them to not make a statement in such cases when, the information is really just trickling by the hour? They don't have clarity, or should they come and appeal to the fans to really stay calm? What should popular actors and actresses do in such scenarios?
I would like to say that Darshan is just paying a price of being a star. He's famous. He has a huge fan following. That's why everybody, I'm just listening to the panel right now that the investigation is not started yet. The police is yet to submit the charge sheet, but they have just given the verdict that he is accused. I was listening to one of your panel, the advocate. He said that the fans must be purchased. It must be planted. I would like to say that the cues must be purchased. They must have been purchased. There must be some mastermind who must have given the cues the money to take Darshan's name. So we should wait for the charge sheet to be submitted by the officials, the department, and then we can come to a conclusion, because this is not the first time where the industry has been targeted. He has a huge fan following. People like him. So there must be some mastermind behind.
Do you really see this, Manvi, as the industry being targeted, or somebody from the industry being targeted here? Because there were individuals who go there and surrender before the police and say, well, we are the ones who committed the crime. And then the police here, through the details...
Everyone
but you're saying that this seems to be a ploy against Darshan. That's what you're suggesting.
Yes, there could be a possibility that it all has been planted, and we should wait for the official statement and maybe the charge sheet, because we don't have an evidence right now. They're just the proper evidence, because once everything will be collected and then it will be submitted as a charge sheet, and it is the court who will decide that he's found guilty or not. And we cannot ban an actor like this, because this is not happening for the first time. We have seen in the past history also, and one of your panel has also taken few names that every time they've been accused.
But where has the film industry, when you consider southern cinema or you consider Bollywood or anywhere, where has action been taken even after people have been convicted? So where is the question of accountability? Where is the question of waiting for a charge sheet? That really does that arise? Because Mr. Jain was just pointing out several instances where nothing has been done, where people have been accused as well. They continue to act in films. They are given, multiple projects. They continue to make money, live a lavish life, even after they go to prison, and sometimes come back as well. So of course, this is quite an interesting issue, and it's also good to have different perspectives, and thank you for sharing that. I'm telling all our panelists, of course, who've had their own, perspectives in this matter. But at the end of it, it's the police who'll have to do a good job to ensure that there's justice for the family here. They need to be transparent, because this is a high-profile case. Question marks will keep coming up time and again. The police don't necessarily have to answer at every step, but ensuring transparency is their primary role here, and that should be something that they should bear in mind, considering how big this case is and the kind of personalities that are involved. With that, I'm slipping into a quick break, thanking all our panelists for joining us once again.